Hey guys, this is Scott with Convo-Lang. I just want to give you a quick update on some test projects I've been working on just to demonstrate what it looks like to use Convo-Lang with a couple different frameworks. What we're looking at here is a Next.js project. We got a couple of different agents we're going to look at. This first one is a fitness trainer. So we can see the introduction for the fitness trainer and a couple suggestions. So I'm just going to do create a 10-minute workout plan. And then we can see, we have the response from our agent here in the chat window, but also we have the output here in our on our canvas. So this canvas area, kind of similar to Artifacts and Claude. Some similarities there, not quite the same. So just to give you an idea of what the actual code looks like to put together an agent like this in Convo-Lang. I just jumped into source mode. So our chat view here has some special slash commands. So you can actually see some of the code that's powering this agent. And honestly, really not a whole lot of code. We got a couple things about a couple of parameters for the type of agent, name of agent, personality. And then what's pretty special here, which you probably really don't see much, especially directly inside of a prompt, is this reference to a function. So this function is actually defined both here in the Convo-Lang script, plus in the accompanying JavaScript function, and those get attached together through Convo-Lang and the system that we've put together. So I'm just going to exit source mode again. And then let's go and jump over now to our retro web designer. It's another similar agent as far as how the layout set up here. We got our chat window on the right. We have some introduction messages for the LLM or for the agent. So this is Doc. He's going to help us make some throwback web pages. So we're just going to jump in. I'm going to jump right into The Matrix. That was one of my favorite movies of the early 2000s. Done a pretty good job. The agent generated the HTML, inserted into the canvas. We can even take a peek at the HTML. Actually not a whole lot there to look at, but definitely gives us the vibe of The Matrix. I could also say, give me options to take the blue or red pill. Let's see what it comes back with here. Cool. So we got our blue and our red pill. We got a little message from the agent. An example of using one of these agents to create a basic web interface. But again, we'll jump into the source mode and we kind of see the what's really going on. So up at the top, we can see some information about some information about how we're setting up the agent. We're giving it a personality, giving it some information about the context it's working in. So like this get size function call here. This is actually reaching out to this canvas here and pulling the width and the height of it. That way, the agent actually knows what size of a page we're working with. So things aren't overflowing and whatnot. Again, we got another another extern function set up here. There's our introduction messages. Here's all the suggestions. Actually, if we jump back real quick, this particular agent has a pretty long list of suggestions, and each one of these are a separate message here in Convo-Lang. But then we get down, so we'll get down to the actual function call. So when I said the matrix, the agent actually calls the set HTML function, and this information gets passed back to the actual web page that's running JavaScript, and then it passes that JavaScript along to the canvas, and then as a result, we see our blue and our red pill option here. Let's jump over to another little demo. This is the My Room demo. So what we have here is this little pixel room or pixel art room. But the idea is that here we're just connecting to this, small visual, but, you could really connect to an home automation system, and fire off these commands in the real world. But so let's pick one of the options here. Actually, I'll just kind of go free form. I'm going to say I like to party. So turn on everything and open the windows. Well, so one fell swoop, we got everything in the room turned on, the TV, a little computer light. But I could say, all right, it's a little bright. Here, close the windows. Yeah, so you can see we got the windows, closed. And I can say, all right, see, I'm leaving for the day. Bye. Yep, and then sees that I'm leaving, so he goes and go ahead and turns everything off. Again, if I jump into the source, we can see our agent defined here. We got a basic personality that's set up. In this set room state, this is what's kind of really what's doing the magic here. This is connecting back over to JavaScript world. When the agent identifies one of my messages, it'll pass the appropriate variable along. And then we can see down here where some of these calls are getting set. So that first initial message I sent, where I told it to turn everything on and open the windows, you can see it actually used all the variables or all the parameters for that function. The next one where I said just to shut the windows is, said, all right, I only need to use one parameter there, so it only passed a single parameter. And then there's the result of me saying I'm going to leave for the day. And lastly, we have a small little cafe demo. So another little pixel art room. And here, we're here at mornings with Mary, getting ready to get some food. And I'm gonna say, well, first I don't really know, what's on the menu, so I could say, what do you have to eat here? And the agent slides up a nice little menu for me. I can browse here. I'm gonna say, give me some bacon, because we all love bacon, and a burger. All right, so now I see the agent says I added bacon and burger to your order. A classic combo. Want some fries? Say sure. All right, cool. And now we got some fries stacked on top. The order that these plates are stacked on the table probably aren't really the best best way to eat. Everything just stacked on top of each other. But I got my food, and it was extremely fast. And one nice thing, it was only $12. So yeah, that is the those are the again, this is the Next.js demo. So let's jump in. We'll take a look at some of the code for some of the actual code that's in this repo. So I kind of browse over here to the file tree. All the demos, all the little examples we looked at are all going to be various pages in the pages directory. So use Next.js, you'll be real familiar with the pages directory. So if we kind of, let's take a look at our cafe. It's going to be like the most, this will be the most complex agent in this example. But here we can see we're actually setting up the menu items. So we just have a array of items of this menu type item. And then here we can actually see where we're defining the Convo-Lang prompt. And you also notice that we get some nice syntax highlighting. This is through the Convo-Lang VS Code extension. And basically it just recognizes any string template literal with the convo comment before it. So if I remove that, syntax highlighting goes away. But here, you can see where we're defining some variables. Nice part about variables in Convo-Lang is, if you have a prompt that has, certain words that repeat a whole lot, you can, pop those in the top, and then you don't have to continually repeat yourself. Then if you need to rename something, much easier. And there's a whole system, actually a full programming language behind the definitions and a lot of functions you can use for a lot of different tasks, but we'll get into that later time. But here we can see where our menu is getting populated. So, we're mapping over all the items that are in this array, writing them out basically in CSV format. And then we can see all the functions. We really only used a few during the demo. The order items, definitely the most important one here. So when that gets triggered, the LLM actually sees, references the ID of the item that's requested to be ordered, passes the ID along, and then, down in the React Lang code, we look up the menu item in that menu array, and then add it to the order. We have a few other functions for showing and hiding the menu, canceling an order, and submitting feedback. Actually, no, let's jump back over and submit some feedback real quick. Let's see. So we'll use one of the, cool. So actually you can see there, if you look real quick, we have positive feedback, and it told me what my feedback was. Actually, the really interesting part about this function is, one thing you may have noticed is most of the functions have this extern prefix or modifier. But send feedback does not have that. And what's going on here with send feedback is it is actually running pure Convo-Lang code to submit our feedback to an HTTP endpoint. So this endpoint is just located in the API folder in the Next.js project. It just simply logs out the submission to the console. Doesn't do anything important, but important thing there is you could obviously connect that to any service that you needed to. And again, this is all purely in Convo-Lang. So this isn't, Convo-Lang isn't just like like a translated language that just translates into JavaScript or anything. There's a full interpreter that runs and is able to execute Convo-Lang independently of JavaScript. And then this send toast message here, this is defined in in the React component. If we get down to the React component itself, we have all the corresponding extern functions that are defined here. And then those actually get dumped into this component, the agent view component, which is a component that's written here in written in this example app, but it really just builds on top of the conversation view, which is part of the Convo-Lang React library. So basically the entire chat window over here on the right, that's that conversation view. So gives you a lot to start with very minimal effort. So that's kind of the high level, trying to keep the video on the shorter side, so moving a little fast. So that was the Next.js and Convo-Lang example project. Let's see, we'll jump into one more. So this is a CLI usage of Convo-Lang. So there's tons of uses for chatbots and agents and stuff in the browser and front end interfaces. There's also a lot that can be done on the back end with LLMs and running prompts. And same as with the front end. Typically there's a lot of setup, but using Convo-Lang we can use some of the Convo-Lang libraries to write some applications that are really easy to work with. So I'm going to start up this server that's running Convo-Lang, and then using the I parameter, I'm going into interactive mode. So I got a little REPL here. So I can start typing out a conversation that I want. And this conversation, not only just define like my message to the LLM, but also can define the knowledge of the LLM, its behavior, personality. We can insert data, but we'll keep it simple for this demo. I'm going to start with typing out a system message. And then I'm going to, actually got a little snippet already ready to paste in here, so I don't have to misspell things. So I'm going to create an agent who, is going to have a personality of a pirate, but he's going to talk with a master's degree in physics. So he's going to be a very smart pirate. Let's see. Next, I'm going to set up my user message, and then also everything I'm typing here you can save to a file and just send straight to an application that you use Convo-Lang in. But a little more interesting to actually kind of type it out and talk about it. So I'm just going to say to this pirate, I can't swim. And let's see what he has to say about that. All right, so there we go. So he responds, in nice pirate talk, insulting me, telling me I don't know how to swim, or much more. I just don't feel like reading. So that's a little bit of use of Convo-Lang on the command line. I'll jump over real quick to the Node example project that this lives in. So if we come into this actual demo is using this server.njs. It does some other features. You can also start up an HTTP server with it and send get and post requests to actually communicate same way as we were kind of doing with the REPL. But let's see, the simple MJS, a little easier to look at. You can actually kind of see, really what's going on without, all the extra bells and whistles. So, up here, what we're doing, this, simple MJS, and it just reads all the arguments that it receives on the command line, and it makes a combo script. So kind of line by line collects those arguments and makes a script to run. This init OpenAI backend, this is going to set up an LLM adapter for OpenAI. So LLM adapters and Convo-Lang are basically the way that Convo-Lang takes the syntax that it uses and then converts it into the format that an LLM needs. So those adapters are going to be expanding very quickly. We're going to have a lot of different, very wide support for different LLMs here very soon. And then, so after we init the OpenAI backend, we get into the actual program that's running. And the main object that we interact with is this conversation class. It represents, all the messages that are sent from the user, and the LLM handles all the intricacies of doing tool calling, saving state with variables that we create. It does a whole lot. Really nice piece of work there that will help you out a whole lot. And then, after we create a new instance of the conversation class, we go ahead and we fire off this complete async function. So this is just taking the combo script that's made of all the arguments that we pass to the simple MJS, and then converts that into the format that our LLM needs, gets a response, and then once we get the response back, that response is stored in this combo property, and then we just dump that out to the console. So what that would look like is, let's go back to our command line. Let's go ahead and leave this REPL. So we're going to do say node src simple MJS, and we're just going to pass in our prompt directly. So I'm going to just say user and tell me a joke. So kind of the hello world a lot of times of working with LLMs. So our parameter for simple MJS is just a single user prompt. Oh, I forgot to source the key. Let's see, which project am I in? Source. Oh, I know. Oh, actually, LA. Source. All right, so source that. I'll export. Is it Try not to open up my actual. Export that. All right, now let's try with our OpenAI key. There we go. Cool. So now we see, with our OpenAI key actually available to send the request off, we can see the prompt that I sent to the LLM. So that's my user message there, and then we get the response there. Let's do one more, but something that's a little more interesting. Let's do, actually we're going to use tags. So tags in Convo-Lang allow you to accomplish a lot of different things. We're going to use the JSON tag. Whoops, forgot to accidentally enter that. Let's do JSON. So now we still got our string going. Say user, and we're going to say, let's see, list all the planets. That. And what we get back is, instead of just regular text response, we actually get some well-formatted JSON back from the LLM, just by using the JSON tag there. But we can take it one step further. So let's get rid of all this here, and we're going to do a define. And we're going to define an actual structure to be returned. So this time, let's say planet equals struct, struct, and we'll say name. We want the name of the planet, and it needs to be a string. We'll say moon count, so it'll be a number. And let's do one more. Let's do something a little off the normal. We'll say joke string. So we'll want the LLM to actually tell a joke about the planet. So we've now defined a structure. So now we're going to do that same JSON, use the same JSON tag, but instead of just passing just the JSON tag, we're going to pass planet as an array, and this is going to tell the LLM that we need an array that conforms to this structure that we just defined. So user, and now we'll say, same thing. We'll say list all planets system, and then we can end that. And now it's thinking. It's going to take a little bit longer just because we gave it more instructions. But now we can actually see we have our full list of our planets. We see their name, we see their moon count, we see a joke about all the planets. So a nice handy feature, nice addition to normal JSON mode. If you've used JSON mode before, you know that giving the actual JSON schemas like you would for function calling is actually something you can't do with JSON mode. But through the magic of Convo-Lang, we're actually able to course the LLMs into to giving us properly formatted JSON that conforms to structure. So pretty interesting there. So those are the two demos I've been working on over the weekend. Let's see, let's jump in. We're just going to take a quick look at the repos for them real quick. So we'll start with our Next.js example. So you can come here, clone this project, do whatever you want with it. You have all the setup instructions. Actually, one instruction I kind of know, at least in the CLI part, was I forgot to set up that or export my OpenAI key. So make sure you do that. So it's basically broken down into the front end, which is kind of what we reviewed. Back end we really didn't get into too much. It's really pretty simple. It uses that same OpenAI adapter and creates a Next.js compatible endpoint to handle requests coming from the front end. So basically, prevents you from having to store your OpenAI keys or other important keys on the browser, which is obviously always bad. A little information about all the examples, and then some links to some extensions you want. So definitely want the Convo-Lang extension. Thought I'd give you the syntax highlighting for Convo-Lang that's in those string template literals. Let's see, and then we got the node example. Same thing here. You can fork this repo. Do whatever you want with it, and just give it a test out, and then some helpful examples, and then all the command line arguments for that server in JS. So that is. Actually, one last thing, and this will be it. If you want to learn a little bit more about Convo-Lang, the language, you can go over to learn.convolang.ai and check out the tutorials that we have here on the website. They are all interactive, so as you kind of browse through different topics, you can see actual live Convo-Lang code, and you can actually modify it just to kind of see how things change as you play around. You can interact with the chat window, and you'll get responses back from from the LLM. You can actually see the kind of back and forth, both the Convo-Lang and the chat window. And then there's also a playground area where you can write Convo-Lang scripts, share them with people, and just learn in general. And then there's also Doc here. So Doc is the Convo-Lang mascot. You can ask Doc for help with various topics. So I could tell him I need to write a function for collecting payments. Okay, and now we can actually see Doc actually created us a new Convo-Lang file here, the payment collector.convo, and kind of showed us how one of those functions actually might look. That is it. Thanks for watching.